Oh, the games began all right, and today they're close to finishing. The Legend stage, that is, and the groups continue to provide their fair share of surprises. We locked in 2 teams for the top 8, and 2 went home. We lost Windstrike, and we did lose Mouse Sports yesterday, as we now down to 14 and more on the chopping block today. I'm your host, Alex Machine Richardson, and this is the FACEIT Major. This is the Counter-Strike Major, where all of those years of practice once again get tested in the server. If you want to get involved in the conversation, you can do so. Just hit us up on social media. The hashtag is FACEIT Major. Nice and easy, and you can let us know exactly what you're thinking and how today is going to shape up. Just 6 best of ones today, because it's time to get those boys locked in and to see that pressure elimination matches once again take place and transpire. We have Sean Gares and Chad Birchall joining me. Fortunately, because doing this on my own, I'd forget to breathe like that one. And Chad, we've kind of got a weird situation where North America's taking over the major.
Oh, it was always going to happen. You know, we were theorizing this for a long time. That's why I obviously moved over there. Renegades moved over there.
Right.
Sean stepped down to let the new age come through. This is kind of how it was all planned.
It's really not weird.
It's not weird at all, Sean?
Just let it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Sean, you've been there when North America was a meme. It was a meme at times. Complexity and Liquid are the first 2 teams that go 3-0. One from the Challenger stage, and one, of course, who's proving their identity as one of the best in the world.
Yeah, definitely Complexity shocking the world right now, going through 3-0. Without a doubt, I mean, we have teams like Astralis, MLBR, FaZe, Mouse Sports. They're all not through yet. Obviously, one of those going home already, Mouse Sports. So there's a lot of shocking events that have happened so far at the Major, and Complexity thriving on it.
Here's the thing. People are going to question the fact that they got to this point. When you look at their run, you go, oh, you know, they only beat Fnatic, G2, and Big to get into the top 8. But they can only play who's in front of them, and they were not the favorite in any of those matchups by any means. So they've outperformed anyone's expectations for sure, and they should be proud of their performance.
And they will continue to show us what they've got when we get into that arena, the SSE arena that is. And these are your games today. 6 best of 1, 6 maps of Counter-Strike, but with so much on the line. Big HellRaisers will be our first adventure, where they look to secure themselves that 3rd win, that crucial win that would put them in that top 8, and of course a chance for Smooya, a second Brit, to meet the home crowd for the first time at a major. This is all fantastic stuff for the storylines. Na'Vi versus Fnatic. Sean, when you saw that, you said it's happening. I'll let you explain why.
Yeah, because on Twitter we had what's his name, Draken, come out and basically call it the CIS region after he took out 2 in a row. So the final boss, Simple, comes up and says, "Okay."
I think he's more than happy to take that battle,
how did he know that the draw was going to go that way? Because that was hours beforehand.
Who's Simple?
Yes.
Well, it's because he's the god.
Yes.
He is the god.
He's actually the one who's created this entire simulation that we live in.
This is all scripted.
Yeah.
And he wrote it.
I thought Anders co-wrote.
No, Anders is like the guy who thinks that he's in charge.
You all know someone like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. You know what is interesting as well is that FaZe Clan nearly got eliminated. In fact, yesterday, the 2 major champion teams, FaZe and Cloud9, I say champion, I mean grand finalists, they were both on elimination territory on the first possible elimination day, Chad.
Cloud9 had to sweat. Isn't that ridiculous?
Versus Windstrike, yeah.
That was a crazy matchup that they really just got lucky to get through. By winning that game, it means they get to come to the next major, so that's fantastic. But for them in this tournament, it's looking very bleak. They've looked like the 2 weakest teams for sure.
Someone else who is sweating pretty damn hard right now is James Bardolph and Mr. Matthew Trivett, as we have those prediction rankings. 24 matches played, and at the moment we've got Sado and Mr. Bardolph at the bottom.
Oh, Anders is down there as well.
Oh, finally. Oh, he's really gone.
This is pleasing.
This is pleasing to the eye.
That's what happens when you make silly predictions, Anders. You're throwing caution to the wind and you're picking none of the favorites in any matchup. This is how it should have been. I think I would be winning if it wasn't for that day 1 kerfuffle.
Yeah, you did go YOLO.
No,
you know what? Day 1 does count, Chad. I don't know if you're aware, so that will.
I'm gonna take that one off the record as a day that never happened in Counter-Strike history. There was just too many upsets.
Talking of Counter-Strike history, another game you get to look forward to today, and the reason to stick around is we get NIP Vega, an elimination game. Chad, you kind of looked like you were having shell shock when you heard about that one.
Well, not for me, more for them. It was kind of like leeching into me from what they experienced all those years ago. They knocked out 16. Was it 16-2?
It was a blood. It was 16-1 or 16-2.
On Cage to that Vegas squad who just absolutely railroaded them. And it's Forrest and Getright who are left, you know, to try and take them down again, but I think they have a stronger map pool now, maybe in a better place mentally. So if you're a Swedish fan, I wouldn't be too scared.
It could be one of those games where you have to look away from the screen occasionally, because Vega, they sure do pack a punch. Anyway, let's move on to our first game. We're bringing you Big versus HellRaisers. We'll focus on Berlin International Gaming first, and we'll see what those Germans and that Brit have got up their sleeve. In fact, we're going to hear from them before we talk any further. This is Big Clan.
We pressured ourselves a lot, and we knew that we are capable of going through the challenger stage easily. But we pressured ourselves, we knew that we have to perform, and it was stick in our head. And after we had a talk, and everyone was like, yeah, we need to do it, we can do it, and we changed it.
I'm just focused on preparing for whoever we play and just destroying them as badly as we can.
Winning a major would be one of the greatest things you can achieve as a Counter-Strike player.
I feel like if we make it to the top 8 and we win our first matchup, then we could. But I feel like we could struggle because Big always get bad draws, so we'll probably get the hardest opponent first.
I think every player is looking forward to play a major and maybe even win one, so I think it's like everything.
I don't want to look so far into the future, but it would be just basically the world for me.
It's big, and this is a roster that has got such a fantastic combination of talent. You have got the Nex, who we heard talking there, saying it's a dream for many Counter-Strike players, and Tabson, that's the real two-pronged attack. Smoothie, of course, that third prong on that trident, as they have got some hard hitters that have to be doing it consistently if they want to be getting close to the trophy.
Yeah, and I think within the realms of a tournament like the Major, where preparation appears to be key, anti-stratting is such a huge bow to have in your, is it quiver?
Yeah, you wouldn't put a bow in your quiver.
No, that's where you keep your arrows.
Yeah.
But regardless, they have preparation and anti-strats. That's what they've got, right? They definitely have that. Now, if they were playing in a consistent, tournament schedule, playing against the top teams in the world all the time, I don't think we would be seeing them have too many top 8 finishes. But because they can come into this event and they can prepare for their opponents, it's a positive sign for these guys just due to the God B on the screen right there, his work ethic and his mind for the game. You mentioned the star players in the squad, but I think, a lot of credit has to be given to him and the work ethic and drive that they're able to push through the unit.
This roster is presented by DreamTeam.gg, and Sean, I'd love to know your thought process on this, because I saw a lot of social media action while Big were playing their game yesterday versus Complexity, that it is kind of astounding how a team can play so much better versus a top 10 team than they can versus perhaps an underdog like Complexity. Does that surprise you, given their strategical nature?
It doesn't surprise me, but it's for reasons that people can't understand, like the fact that the map pools can't be really predicted against Complexity. They don't know where the veto is going to go. When Big plays Complexity, it could be 1 out of 5 maps that they have to prepare for, I guess 4 if you include the 3 that they're going to veto. But yesterday we saw a nuke come up in the best of 1, and Big clearly wasn't prepared for it. Actually, Def DM'd me last night and said, yeah, they probably prepared for Train. So it's hard when you're an in-game leader to know where to put your time when you have 1 day to prepare. And that's where they ran into the problem.
I think yesterday what happened with them as well is it's going to scare them into playing something they just feel safe or is a good map for them, which may also tend to be a very good map for HellRaisers. So as opposed to trying to win the veto now, they're probably just going to try and get to a map where they feel comfortable, which sucks in a way because you want to try and always win the veto and then force them onto a map where they're less comfortable than you are. So in this situation versus HellRaisers, they played a little bit in the past. It's obviously some time and there's been stand-in caveats and other bits and pieces within those matchups, but they always tend to end up on the same 3 maps, Overpass, Train, Caches in there a little bit, so it'd probably be one of those.
Yeah, and HellRaisers are where we're going to take this next. We're going to hear from Angel and the boys before we continue our discussion about our first game here at the FACEIT Major.
Major? It's the biggest tournament of the year, pretty much.
I mean, like, everyone asking, what is the Major? And every time I'm saying that it's the most important tournament for any cyber sportsman. Like, you achieve the most biggest goal in your life, probably.
For everyone is like preparing for it pretty hard. Everyone wants to win it, of course. Our main goal for this major is to be get to the legend spot, yeah. And after winning the major, of course, yeah.
That was Dead Fox, who has recently been undergoing quite the role switch. He's now rocking that AK-47 a whole lot more, and as you can see from these clips, he's certainly no slouch. Woxic and Issa, their combination two-punch combo, with one with the AWP, one with the rifle. It does seem like they've got the right tools, however, their results do make me nervous, Sean. A close call versus Cloud9, a full close to 30 rounds versus Tyloo, and a loss to G2 is what we've seen from him at the Legend stage.
Yeah, and even going back to the Challenger stage, a lot of close games. I think they might have had 4 overtime games thus far over these 2 weeks, and one 16-14 game as well, so every game pretty much going the distance for them. We really don't know what you're going to expect out of them because they come so flat early in games, losing the opening pistol round, sometimes even the first gun round. And versus top-tier opponents, that could be a problem. That comes back to bite them.
It was Angel that identified it, right? That
Yeah.
like he in his interview just said we need to start winning pistols, and I kind of, it feels crazy to say, but one round seems to have such a heavy influence on how close this game for HellRaisers is going to be.
Especially in the best of ones, right? The fact is, if you can't win the force buy, then that puts a lot more emphasis on that pistol round, and if you're losing both in a game, then it's going to go down to the wire. They've shown they're very proficient in the gun rounds, and that's a very positive sign. So overnight, that would be my focus, is let's come up with some really solid pistol rounds, and if nothing like gimmicky, or not gimmicky, but strat heavy has been working, just throw it all out the window and do something either hyper aggressive, do a 5-man rush, it sounds silly, or on the CT side, take the fight to them so you're not getting dictated to.
Right.
If you're not winning them so far anyway, you may as well change your approach and see what happens.
We actually saw them do that yesterday against Tyloo, if you remember. The first round they won, I think, was that long A rush where the communication breakdown happened. So
They are trying to innovate and trying to fix this problem, put a band-aid on it and hope it works and holds watertight for them. FACEIT Major, they haven't got too long to practice in between these games, of course. It's been back-to-back from the Challenger stage to the Legends stage. And Legends on your screen right now, because we have your head-to-head, and it's quite a fantastic comparison. These two players, if I brought their name up, say, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, you would not have expected to see them both regarded as some of the strongest opening presence we have here in the Legends stage. The Predator, though, in cinemas right here, right now, and that's how this head-to-head has come from. Smooya and Woxic.
I think the cool thing with both of these players is they can both play the AWP to its fundamentals. They can sit there, hold the line, get the kill that they need to, but then they can also be very flashy. If you're watching Woxic play, his sensitivity is very high, so it always looks very shaky, but still able to hit some crazy shots. Now, look, most players play with a pretty low sensitivity, nothing as high as what he's dealing with. The fact he's been able to master that and coming from a region which isn't, hugely dominant within the Counter-Strike realms just shows that there is little gems around the world of players, and Smooya can the same thing. There's not many good UK players out there at the moment, and he's now playing for a German squad and putting numbers on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, Smooya is actually one of the highest rated players at the tournament so far. I mean, there's credit to be given. Right. Maybe it's that home soil, but also I think that structure from God B. I really felt like we learned a lot, Sean, from Smooya's interview where he talked about his time under God B.
Yeah, he's definitely learned a lot and matured tons as a player. Smooya was someone that had a very toxic vibe around them from other professionals. I think he actually stood in for Flipside a long time ago, and people thought whether it would ever work, and obviously it didn't end up working out. Yeah. And then on the other hand, Woxic had always had that stigma of being like a crumbler at big events or big tournaments. And after Odense, the EPL finals last season with HellRaisers, people kind of thought he was never going to come up.
Yeah, he has, of course, found himself consistent form, and the vetoes are going down. HellRaisers will not be playing Overpass for the 4th time here at the Major.
I think it's safe to remove that. We won't be seeing any nuke. I think if Big get left with...
It'll be interesting to see if HellRaisers vetoes Dust 2, because they do play it.
I don't think they want to play against Big,
is so strong on Dust 2.
Especially with how shaky HellRaisers mid-rounds have looked. Like Dust 2, if they're losing numbers early. That's one of the things as well to note for HellRaisers, especially on their Overpass games that we saw when they were losing a lot of opening kills on both sides, but then still trading very well and making rounds, turn on their head, which they shouldn't have. I think we had some stat lines where they were beating teams who had twice as many opening kills as what they had throughout a map, which is insane.
Imagine if they were getting them.
So what do we got? We're getting
Inferno with Cash.
Yeah, and Train.
Train's not impossible.
Train feels like a map that it will likely end up on because they have played each other on it several times before. I think when they played last, it was 16-11 in HellRaisers' favor. It was the New York qualifier, but Legia was standing in for Nex at the time, and Legia is now the stand behind them coach. I guess that's what we'll call him.
Yeah.
But Nex has a chance to make a really big difference on a map like this because once he gets out T mid with that AK, it can become a bit of an aim map, and that's where he does his best work. So I think that Big has more tactical diversity on their T side than that of HellRaisers, but I think HellRaisers has a brawlier potential. If it gets to the mid-rounds, if they're able to get out onto sites, that's when the individuals like Issa and Bondic, Deadfox, all those kind of guys with those clutch performances, all those impact frags stand up and be counted for.
Smitty's brought his waifu pillow down with him.
I think something we can look out for on the big side is Smooya's op presence at Ivy. We saw a lot of good stuff out of him so far, opping on Ivy on CT side, as well as their inner aggressions on CT side. They had a lot of different looks that Tizian gave at inner, whether it be pushing in the brown halls, even pushing all the way up the stairs into the white halls. So I think we can see a lot of that coming throughout this game.
I'm looking forward to seeing who chooses the side. It was Big who chose the map, so HellRaisers
should be starting on the CT side in this one here. And if they do start out slow, if they're unable to convert the pistol, we know it's likely that they fall, right? They do go for the force buy, and we talk about this time and time again. Going into that first gun round, you're not going to have all the utility you need. And if you're not going to have all the utility you need to make like a bit of a risky CT play. So I hope that they're at least looking to address those things, because you can't be starting a map like Train 5-0 down and allowing God B to have full utility.
And those are the issues you have to iron out if you want to hope of doing damage in the top 8. To get to the top 8 is just one map, Train. We know what it is. Big and HellRaisers, one of them is going to be seeing the crowd and will be safe after this game. It is prediction time. We do have the safest dudes on the block. That's right, I'm Street. James Bardolph and DDK are joining us as well from the commentary desk. Wagwanin. I need your predictions, gentlemen.
I'm going. This is super difficult,
isn't it?
This is like the best map I think for both of these teams to be playing. I think for a very close game, I'm gonna lean HellRaisers. Like, I don't know. I can't even quantify it. I just think it's going to be 50-50, and I'm going to pick HellRaisers just because I feel as though right now what we've been seeing from them is just a lot of improvement, and they look like they are very good in these pressure situations. I think Big are a bit more temperamental, and for me that could be the difference.
If HellRaisers win that pistol, maybe, Dan. James.
For me, I think this is also a good map for HellRaisers, though I think they are their worst enemy on the T side, so they are able to defeat themselves in that respect. I'm going to pick Big as a slight edge because of HellRaisers maybe stopping themselves on the T side.
James and Dan have set the scene quite nicely, Chad. Where do you want to take this one?
Even though God B constantly innovates on this map, he was one of the first to do like a proper outrush, and then he came up with the Molotovs to clear out Pop Dog. I think that HellRaisers individuals are probably a little bit better, pound for pound, if we look at, across the board, and I'm going to have to go with them.
Yeah, I mean, if Issa gets going, no one can really stop him. Sean?
I'm going to go with Big just because they have the better double off setup. I know Tabson thrives on this map when he picks up the AWP, so I think he can have a big game here.
Yeah, and a big game is what I think is going to happen as well. I'll go for Big Clan for this one. Thank you. I'm here all week. James, Dan, it's over to you, fellas.
I was going to mention Tabson, actually. That was the first thing I was going to talk about. We've seen some insane performances from Tabson already, and I think it's very easy to look at Smooya, obviously, as the main sniper of the team, but Tabson is a very capable player. And we spoke about HellRaisers. I think there are two things to defeat. Like, Nex has had some games where he's only performed on one half, for example, although CT take with a pinch of salt because it depends on where you play and so on and so forth. But I think he might be a swing player for Big on if they have a great performance or an underperformance. But HellRaisers, again, their T side, sometimes they can just run down the clock so far that if one thing goes wrong, that might just be the end of the round. So that's something to look out for HellRaisers on the T side.
Yeah, and I think this is maybe the most split prediction that we've seen. So if you guys think that you can tip the scales with the predictions, head on over to upcomer.com and check out the Upcomer app and let us know what you think. There's so many factors to this one where, I mean those guys are the analysts for a reason. Ooh, 63. Ooh,
yeah,
I don't know.
The German connection.
Yeah.
I got loads of production in my ear.
Yeah, we had 60-40 on the desk as well. So it seems like the general populace is with us here.
Quick reminder, sorry Dan, if you are watching on Twitch, you can opt for the premium pass, which is $9.99, and you can have all the POVs messed around with the HUD as well. FACEITMajor.com/premium pass for more information on that. And indeed, as the desk said, HellRaisers are going to be starting on the CT side. I think that's important for them. I think that balances the match yet more, because I think if they have starting on the CT side again, the T side for me is a question mark for HellRaisers. So starting on the CT side, I think is like the most even things could be to start off this match.
And we know that Big can be very dangerous on that T side, and they've all sorts of trickery up their sleeves. I'm sure they've prepared a fair few things, knowing God B and his troop. And as I was saying, this is a matchup where the more you think about it, the more small nuances which you could think, oh, well, maybe this will tip the scale over there, or maybe, you know, then you think to the other team, like, oh, well, what about that? And I do wonder about the Smooya and Tabson element, because that's really the individual focal point for Big. If those guys are firing off, especially on that CT side with the Orbs, this could be very interesting.
For those of you on GoTV, this is not live. For those of you on GoTV or Twitch Premium Pass, I would suggest I would focus on the CT sides here. In the first half, I would be looking towards Issa. In the second half, I would be looking towards Tabson. Those will be two very important players, although, of course, all these players are fighting for a place at the SSE Arena. You saw some emo tweets from Smooya after losing his first opportunity. He's a young player, of course.
I didn't see those tweets, James. What did he say?
Oh, it was just emo, basically. You know when you've lost the match and then you just write this mad emo tweet, which is defeated.
No, I don't, because I don't do that, James.
Okay, well, I mean, the problem with that is that if your teammates read that as well, you're just going to spread dejection through your team. So the wise man doesn't write tweets such as those, but of course, young players have to learn this through experience, and Smooya is certainly a young player.
Young Butterfield. Let's see if he can maybe set the tone nicely in this pistol round. Things have started here between Big and HellRaisers. And already that presence has been felt by HellRaisers. They'll start to rotate everybody here. Crossfire, more, not quite actually. Woxit going a bit too deep there. Issa could not really support him from the bomb train. And now they'll be looking straight to Issa. That's a good start from Issa. Out of bullets though, has to go for the reload. 3 versus 3. As things get slightly more complicated here for Big as they are stuck, but they are shooting their way out. Trays until the end. And indeed, Smooya will be the one with the 3K for Big. Nice performance from him.
They're really happy with that one. Tabson is elated with that pistol round. Big. That was a great angle. And Train is a map of angles. There's so many small opportunities, or small scenarios, rather, where if you're just looking the right way at the right time, you can win a really crucial round. You see it so often, but it's... I mean, the timing is crazy when you watch it, when you have all the information, you see the X-ray. So as we get into some late rounds around the A bomb site, that kind of scenario will come to fruition. For the time being, we've got HellRaisers not going for a full force buy. Now, some teams will buy Desert Eagles in the second round and not Kevlar, and then buy Desert Eagles again in the third round should they lose the second. But again, as Adesk alluded to, utility is nice on the first buy round. And you want to start the right way.
Yes, you certainly do. A slow one now from Big on the anti-eco. Got to give respect to HellRaisers. We have seen exactly what they're capable of. I think pretty much everyone on HellRaisers has a deadly pistol to their name. See, Gobi going for a solo play with the MAC-10, playing for information. He's getting tagged up there. Doesn't get himself into the bomb site, which would have been nice, but he does pull some rotation. You can see that HellRaisers are very quick to rotate, because that's really the nature of things. If you have pistols in a round such as this, you want to make sure that they are in the right place. So fakes can become very strong from the T perspective.
Tizian and Smooya slowly moving in. Crouch pick from Smooya, and now Tizian has a question. Does he try and trade the frag with the bomb in his hands? It's a tough ask. Spots one player in that sandwich position. We'll call for some backup from main. 20 seconds on the clock for this bomb to go down. They have control of Ivy for now, but you can see Issa is flanking that position. Keep an eye on that on your radar, because if he makes a play through the smoke, then this bomb's not going down. Here is Issa, round the back, and he stopped the bomb from being planted, and here's Angel now. 7 seconds, Issa just needs to hide, and that is a wrap. Again, a developing situation.
Oh my god.
It's so important to have control of Ivy if you're going for, let's say, a default plant on A. If you consider the angle of the train, the site is diagonally split. It's a great start from Issa. And here we go.
No kidding.
Bomb trying to get planted. 2 kills for him. All over this. So if you are watching him on GoTV, you're having a really good time. But again, it shows you how important it is. Big had 2 players towards Ivy, but well, they lost control of it, and Issa was there pretty much the whole time. Slowly creeps in, low on time, got to plant the bomb, desperate situation, and he punishes them for it. So what is going on there?
4 kills by himself. Seems pretty easy. Definitely need to see a big performance. We saw him with some incredible rounds anchoring on the overpass on the overpass, on overpass. And I would love to see Issa kicking off here in a strong way, and it's looking like that's how things are turning out so far. And you look at the space that HellRaisers have given Big now, just letting them out there, but they're using their superior weaponry at these ranges, and doesn't seem like there's too much Big can do here. They try to get those open engagements. There's nothing much to accomplish, and HellRaisers shut it down. Issa, what a godsend that round was.
So again, just for those of you at home, if you are planting the bomb in that position, the times where you've succeeded and the times where you failed, just think about what happened. Did you have control of Pop Dog? Did you have control of Ivy? If you failed, where did the frags come from for the CT side? What stopped it from happening? And think about when you do have control of those things and how it changes. Big now on the pistols. It's almost like round one all over again as far as they are concerned. Now, they are unlikely to get a lot of damage done in this situation. Angel is close on B with an MP9. Tabson's having a look, making some presence. He'll keep Bondik over there as well. Bondik has been undercover, a really clutch player for HellRaisers as well. Hasn't always been lighting up the scoreboard, but especially on overpass around the B bomb site, he has really delivered in some awful situations. Big going for a boost. Now, where Bondik is standing, if you were a sniper boosted, you would see Bondik. But the thing is, with a Glock, even from that position, he gets shot in the head, and he only does 28 HP. So it will run distraction, though, and here is the numbers game from Big. The bomb plant all but guaranteed now.
Yeah, bomb down, but not too much else that they can do. Oh, hello, Bondik. But a control spray there. We got taken advantage of. Some awkward situations for Bondik. And 2 kills in the bomb plant, incredibly good. Objective certainly achieved with the bomb plant. The kills bonus to that. So you can see Big, good spirits early this morning in this round, in this, well, rather in this half, first half, against HellRaisers. The extra money from that bomb plant will allow them to have pretty much anything they want in this round. And we'll see Gobi picking up the AWP, tossing it over. So Smooya will be on that one. Now HellRaisers, have they done their research here? Because Smooya, I'm certain that he's going to have some picking patterns if we look at Big defaults. And perhaps that's something that if HellRaisers have done that research, they can exploit.
The T side. Wallbang? Nope. Looking for a place to go above the train. So many places to look as a T sniper in main. I like the patience there. Do I smoke the Molotov? No, everything's fine. Nice angle from Woxic on top of the train to look towards a Pop Dog position. He can look towards A main as well. Dead Fox in the meantime will keep an eye on the Ivy area. Blockerino. Woxic trying to figure out where to go. Stopping the T's from advancing by putting a Molotov down. Controlling the space, which allows him to peek. He knows worst case scenario, someone's in an all-off position and can try to deal with that accordingly. Bondik spotting plays towards B, and that will cause Angel to rotate deep in towards B.
So far, HellRaisers have done a good job just shutting down these big attempts and forcing Big to go for this set piece. And is this something that they can read? Again, something that perhaps they picked up from watching Big demos. Well, it is a B set, please. It's always going to be a difficult one to stop. They've got 2 players close in position. There's a counter grenade in the form of a smoke there to slow things down. Bondik gets a dink with the first bullet, but quickly taken down. Angel with nothing. HellRaisers in all kinds of problems now.
Next in Tabson. Gopi's made his way all the way through connector. Issa's towards T main for some reason, so I guess it's a save here from the CTs. They are outmaneuvered and everyone is alive for Big. Nice execute from them. Quick look from Woxic, but with 1 HP, he needs to continue to run. Gobi hunting. Both low. Very nice. Looks like a headshot to me. Saw a little flash. Maybe it was from his gun. Again, I think every first bullet now sends a tracer in most guns, whereas that was a manual update that Valve made not so long ago. In general, every third bullet will fire a tracer, apart from the silenced weapons, of course.
Pretty big deal for Woxic to survive with 1 HP with that AWP. Lots of money, of course, needs to be spent for HellRaisers. They'll have another buy coming in here, but this entry from Big was really good. HellRaisers, they had that forward setup, but they got absolutely nothing off of it, and that's worrying.
It was a nice peek from Smuya as well for the CT next to the bomb train. It's a common position where CTs will play on the B bomb site, especially if they are playing alone. You can often find Zipex playing that position as well, for example. So something to consider when you are pushing out towards the B bomb site. Both teams on the buy once again. Bondic alone for the time being. Okay, Woxic up the ladder. Device likes to peek like this as well from the top, moving to the right. A safer peek then from the ground. But of course, up here now, you can look towards Popdog as well. Smear takes his AWP towards Ivy.
So again, picking attempts coming in from Smear. They can try to work this map control. And Woxic seeing if he can catch somebody. Playing off of Issa, perhaps. How far will he go? Next is looking for that push. And of course, because Next will be able to see his feet due to the way the train is before he actually makes his way forward. So Issa can only go so far, and he knows it. Meanwhile, Big creeping up alley. Slowly but surely, will they be able to pinch this HellRaisers setup? It is very, very far forward, and Issa defends against Next. That's a big kill.
He was the lurker. The remainder of the team, oh no, Tabson is rotating as well. They're wrapping towards the B bomb site. You almost never see this. I'm sure Anders will be happy though. The bomb's making it there, but Angel's going to have an off angle. Bondic's here as well. And that's Tabson's rotating towards the high ground. Got B, he can't die here. He's on his own. The bomb will be miles away. Angel looks away at the wrong time. That is brutal. Now the B bomb site is open and Tizian's keeping an eye on Connector. One play's made it through. Does he have the communication for that though? Deadbox taken out. Woxic through the smoke. Issa flanking.
One moment from Angel turned everything around. Oh, that's a huge mistake there, unfortunately for Angel. So there must have been a call or something to pull him away from that angle.
It's a mistake per se, it's just unfortunate timing.
Well, he was covered from that position. I think his teammate was on it as well from Connector. I think it was a slight bit of panic. But that's going to be the 3-3. They will keep the AWP and the M4 in hands of Woxic and Issa. And the question is if they can recover from this, because Big, they're starting. I mean, if we look at it, it's been difficult rounds since, you know, HellRaisers won that buy with the Eagles, because HellRaisers didn't even have a full force buy. I think they just had, it was a half buy. They left some money in the tank. And so HellRaisers economically were in a really good position. And with the saves, you know, they've been able to put up a big fight in a lot of these rounds. But Big, everything they do has been effective. They've not been getting those early round picks either, James. Imagine if Smuya gets a pick early in the round as well, and then you see these set pieces come in. Or
yeah, I wonder if Next doesn't get picked in main, if they end up on the A bomb site. If so, it's a nice mid-round from Big. Nice adjustment there. Tabson charging towards the B bomb site, but if God B goes down, that's pretty much the round. Angel looking away just at the wrong second. That has got to be so frustrating.
It was unfortunate too, because it looked like he knew exactly what to do. Like he took a position where if a player was going to peek him from the left side, he'd have to run really deep to come to Angel and pass one of his teammates most likely, unless there was a smoke obscuring that. And so he picked the perfect position to keep himself safe for the angle, but came off of it just at the wrong moment. It happens. It happens to everyone in Counter-Strike. But couldn't have happened at a worse time for HellRaisers, because they are broken now. Do they go for a force, James? Their money's a bit strange. They have the AWP and the M4 still.
Yeah, they could. I mean, the money in the bank is together. So there is an argument for either. Depends on what they think they can do, really.
Yeah, Woxic could drop an M4, and that would be 3 rifles, one of them being an AWP. And then, you know, some UMPs could come out, but it's just very awkward. It's very awkward.
Issa is 11-2 at the moment, so that was a good GoTV pick. There's just a communication server issue, which is being tended to, and then we shall resume. Woxic he's got a new mouse now. He got a mouse delivered, so I need to go and pick up Pompa's mouse, take it back to FACEIT Towers. Nice glasses.
I want to get on the wireless mice hype. The wireless technology actually pretty good these days.
Yeah, in some cases it's got less latency than some wired mice, which is really cool.
It's I think it's really hard for people of the CRT age to believe such things. I mean, to be fair though, the CRTs the technology is instantaneous, so there is no latency.
Yeah, but
so
I think it's worth noting that wireless mouse and Bluetooth mouse, for example, are two different things, because people may just consider it's got no wires. Do you mean Bluetooth? But no, Bluetooth has latency for sure.
Yeah.
Significant latency.
Significant.
It's interesting. I was sent a prototype keyboard, which is on Kickstarter at the moment. Excuse me. Which is a Bluetooth keyboard, but for gaming purposes, you can plug in a USB, which is interesting. That was fun to have a play around with. So yeah, I don't know if I could. I mean, sometimes when I have a wired mouse, the cable kind of bends in a really annoying way, and I don't mean twist where you untwist it. It's just kind of bent and it's weird and it's annoying. I don't know though. I don't like changing my equipment because I went for a long period of changing my mice. I've settled on a mouse now. I changed my sensitivity, and it took me, I measured it, and it took me, I think, 72 days to get used to my new sensitivity. I changed my mouse pad, and I just don't want to go through the stuff anymore. Although, to be honest, I think I'm struggling with my new mouse pad in terms of like 180s and stuff, because it's smaller than the XL mouse pad I used to have. But I mean, you've gone through a lot of mice. You've been messing around with mice for a while, right?
I've done a lot of different setups in my time. Yeah, I even used mouse acceleration in different configurations for a good 2 or 3 years as well. So experimented with that fully. I experimented with so many different things. It's really, I mean, if you have the time to do it, it's a lot of fun. But that also does mean that for me, I can adapt to new things very quickly because I just have the processes. Just done it so many times. But just the advent of wireless technology for the mouse peripheral in particular, so you don't have to worry about drag, like cable drag. You don't have to worry about a bungee. It's just going to be consistent. That's really cool. Like that's super cool for me because that is something that's just really annoying and finicky sometimes, and especially if you're traveling to different events. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I feel like it's travel where you wrap up your cable or you fold it or something. I think that causes more cable drag problems than otherwise. If I could get like the same mouse that I use, the same shape, the same sensor, then I would consider a wireless version. But I imagine it's going to be heavier, of course, because it's going to have a battery in it, right? So.
Yes, yeah. So I haven't actually experimented with them yet, but that's on the list to happen pretty soon. But yeah, weight is definitely a big deal. It's interesting, especially from the perspective of, can you get used to it as well? Because sometimes it is something that just feels like, it's heavier than I'm used to, so I just don't want to play with it. But maybe there's a way around that. Maybe you play with a mouse pad that has less friction, or maybe you have a different shape.
Ultimately, I think if you just don't change it, then that's the way. Here we go, back into the match now, and HellRaisers are keeping their money together. I think this is a sensible decision, especially as they're going to get 2,400 for losing this round, should they lose it, of course. So they'll be able to buy together. So buying around what they have, I think, will just ruin their economy and a risk they don't need to take. Now, Woxic may be looking for Smooya. No, he hasn't been taking that pop dog pick too commonly. But as you can see, Woxic is now in battle sniper mode, trying to get something done, trying to get an early advantage for his team. And again, you want your team alive in the numbers to pick up these weapons. So far, so good for Woxic. Issa with a second frag. Dead Fox as well. This is going fantastically well for HellRaisers.
Yeah, still 2 players left for God B's side. Big. It is awkward, but they have a lot of time, and God B's found his way into connector with the bomb. That is a huge play. I don't know if he's aware that B is open just yet, but if he figures it out, that's a pretty devastating realization from HellRaisers' perspective, because they've got nothing to rotate towards that position. And right now, Big are playing it smart, just waiting, using that time that they have to see if there will be a positioning error from HellRaisers. Or it's hard to even know if it's an error or not, because you don't know where Big's players are. And God B decides to go to the sure thing, perhaps, wrapping back around to the A site, but little does he know it's going to be a huge problem. 1 versus 3. They don't have to peek Smooya. He has to go for the bomb. That's something for them to remember, but Smooya will avail himself to Woxic. Beautiful round from the young sniper.
They knew where Smooya was for most of the end of that round because Blondik was above him. Smooya scoped, and that conceded his position. So they knew where one of the players was. Probably had a read it's likely to be A. And I think God B was waiting in connector. He wants Smear to draw some attention, but since they had position, they knew where he was. Not much he could really do, actually. HellRaisers not going to give anything up, and that is a great bonus for them. Look how much money they have in the bank, HellRaisers, after stealing some weapons away, as well as the round. That is a huge pickup for them, and now Big O in a difficult position. Tizian on the Mac 10, and next on a CZ 75. 12-3 now, Issa.
That was the perfect round to win, wasn't it? I mean, if they lose that, you know, they have HellRaisers have no money all of a sudden. Big's momentum starts to get really out of control.
Don't have a buy. It was a Nico round for them.
All right, I'm stupid.
It's early, Dan. It's all right. We're still waking up.
Yeah, letting that caffeine kick in. Oh, I would be raging. That was so on. That was so on. Oh my days. He's going to feel robbed, James. Robbed. Perhaps he can find something else. Ooh, these grenades are doing damage here for HellRaisers. Bondic. He's not even going for the full peak, just off. Oh my god, Angel, what on earth is this? Frag after frag, headshots galore. Smear to stop it. But there is no more players on Big. This is going to be quite difficult as he goes for a repeat down into Secrets, and Issa will take him down. What on earth was that from Angel?
Very nice performance from Angel. 4K. I mean, what a turn of events. It's just suddenly they're in such a strong position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting his best JW impression on with that 3K.
Yeah.
Right then, suddenly everything's been decimated for Big. They're on the $2,000 mark. From an eco with 2 weapons to this, how things can turn around. And again, I do think HellRaisers need to have a good CT half here. Issa's having a great time. I mean, this is round number 9. Issa's died 3 times, Dead Fox 3 times, Woxic twice. It's pretty solid stuff. Has included some saving though, but here we are. Still early. Big, can they use the numbers and get a plant once again? Looks like they may just be able to.
Yeah, and that's fine. This is, you know, you'll see this fairly often. The CTs will not, well, hello. The CTs won't feel confident to go close to the B position because you can just lose 2 players. They'll pick up 2 guns, anger the bomb plant. Maybe they'll lose a round, but they can threaten to do more damage, and it actually gets very awkward, and you have to close the distance on these Glocks and then maybe a couple rifles. So instead of that, instead of any risk there, just let them plant. Just let them plant. You throw the grenades in, they will absolutely die. Sure, you know, you give them a plant, but you guarantee that your economy is intact. And that's the CT side. You need your economy to be intact. And right now we can see that's the case for HellRaisers. 10K, 10K, 11K, 7K, 5K. That's great for HellRaisers. So much security.
Okay, the HUD is bugged out. That will need a reset. 1 minute 35 on the clock. Angel's being picked off. We've got 3 more players towards the A site for the CTs. Tizian and Smear moving towards Ivy with the bomb. Now, HellRaisers may feel somewhat exposed. Woxic so good at those gap shots. Tabson and next near Olof position. Smear and Tizian. Around 2 smokes in Ivy. Slowly emerging. The numbers look good for Big on the A site.
This is a decent position. Oh, there's a Molotov for it though, but he will find the frag as it comes flying into him. And the repositioning. Issa still causing problems here on this site. And a 3v3, very good timing from Smear, will find Woxic. And now Bondic and Issa have to make it happen. Another headshot comes in from Issa. Repositioning again to the backlines, taking a lot of attention. Oh, but Nex is watching for that flank. Issa needs the 4K, the quad kill, to clutch this round now. Surely he can't do it. He's on 34 points of health, and there's only so many places he can come from, and Big have it covered. Oh, there it is, the spot coming out from Nex. Good round from Nex, covering that flank. 4 kills as well. So he's putting in some work. Good to see from Big.
Keeping the score close. But there's so much money for HellRaisers. They've got 2 good buys in them at the very least. Nice shot there from Nex. Nice. 4-6 in favor of HellRaisers. We have a tactical timeout from the HellRaisers side at the moment. Looks like a second AWP will be taken by HellRaisers. Dead Fox wielding that one. Smear on the cusp of double figures. Only Issa with double figures right now. 15 for 4 now is Issa. Good start, but it's still early. Still early in this game of Train.
You don't want to lose this one if you're big, though. That reset will be quite annoying to your progress. HellRaisers, as you mentioned, that double orb should be quite interesting. Some of these executions of Big, though, have been scary, and I'm sure Big realize the strength of them. And, well, they're just going to go for a run, and they have found an aggressive play from HellRaisers. They've abandoned the yard, and Big capitalized on that timing very well. The spray through the smoke could be huge, but minimal damage done by Issa.
There are 5 smoke grenades on the A site. This is a variance, the definition of. And it's good for a man advantage for the T side. Will they have any eyes on main? Smear just about realizes where he's been shot from. He can raise the alarm for his teammates. If Angel did that quicker, maybe they wouldn't have the info that someone was in main. Bondic, he's made a step. Gobby knows he's there. Tabson peeking as well. Gobby goes wide. Takes the frag. 2 versus 3 now. HellRaisers trying to do something. Woxic misses the shot. He's trapped. And now he's gone. Angel reloading as he moves around. Almost sees Gob. Almost frags him. I like the forward smoke there, but Nex will deliver the kill. Now, some people would smoke on the bomb, but if you have the forward smoke like that, it makes it harder to line up your shot in the right place. Gobby is super happy. That was awesome. Massive smile on his face.
Yeah, this is really interesting. There's a lot of 1v1s in this round. For example, that shot from Woxic that was missed. You really actually favor HellRaisers with Angel's flank with the Silence M4 coming in, that if he gets that kill, Woxic, that HellRaisers could very well win the round. So such a close one, James. And look at the situation now. HellRaisers just forced it up. They've got the open 2 M4s, but Gobby's Big looks strong at the moment. Issa back at it again, though.
Issa cannot be stopped. Is there anybody that can stop Issa in this tournament? That's starting to be a question. His first major as well. What a great performance so far. He's got his country on his back. One of a few players we have here. Flying the flag for their nation. Inspiring future generations. Tizian moving up the IV position. Looking for a trade fragger to his left, but both CTs are to his right. He doesn't know that just yet. Dropping on Molotov to try and control the situation. But now there's a smoke.
Big flash play coming in. Angel takes down Nex. Smuya, can he get the refrag?
Oh, wow.
Yes, he will. A quick scope comes in, but time is starting to be a problem here for Big. And with Smuya down low at this point, and the only one with nades, really. The way to win this round, or the ways in which you can win this round, start to close down dramatically and very quickly indeed. Dead Fox with the Deagle. Looking to control the flow of T's as first kill could be huge. Oh, just playing the corner like an absolute pro. And that's Tizian down. Is there a way in at this point? I don't think there is. 20 seconds and they're going to call it off.
Yeah, it looks like a save. The only option really for Smuya was to go through his own smoke into the great unknown and perhaps give up an AWP. So the HellRaisers' awkward buy has worked out for them. And they will move to round number 7. Now let's see, Tabson and Smuya aren't really in a position to drop. Gobby's got 3,700. This is going to be a difficult round for Big. Touch my hand.
Touch it.
Maybe we should bro fist after every round, isn't it? No?
Coming from you, Mr. Bacteria.
Mr. Bacteria.
Mr.
You can't have that. My name on the streets can't be Mr. Bacteria.
You're like...
That's a misrepresentation, Dan.
Okay. So you've been talking about hygiene or poor hygiene every single day, like touching hands and exchanging of bacteria.
You could call me Mr. like antiseptic or whatever you call it.
Captain Antiseptic.
What's that hand cream stuff? What does it do? What's it called? You know, to clean your hands off all that crap.
Antibacterial?
Yeah, call me Mr. Antibacteria, not Mr. Bacteria. It's like I'm just like the walking diseased, you know, like a zombie or something. I don't know.
Captain Planet.
Mr. Bacteria, how dare you?
Did you ever watch Captain Planet?
Yep. Is that an Earth, Wind, Fire, Water one?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And don't forget Love.
That was 1-2, I
Oh,
think.
God, pass me a bucket.
Power of love.
I'm dead inside, Dan. I like it this way. 7-5 in favor of the HellRaisers. Raising the flames under the feet of Big, who are on the 4th spy. Maybe looking for a fast round with the AWP in tow. Tizian on an honest P250. Bondic alone in the B-bomb site for now, moving around. Angel quickly coming to join him. They've got Molotovs, but you don't want to get caught with a grenade in your hand, so there are decisions to be made by HellRaisers. Ooh, the HE, will it be a meaty one? Oh, that is beautiful!
We'll get an entry though. Gob straight onto Angel and Bondic, so maybe that grenade doesn't mean a damn thing. Next is a forward position, forward enough, and HellRaisers, well, you don't want to go in for this one at this point. Big have gained too much ground, and these entries have been reliable for Big on these B takes. It's been the saving grace for Big so far in this game. They've had some really nice outside takes as well with grenades, like beautiful smokes creating chaos. But these B takes have been very reliable. I don't think we've seen a round where Big have guns and go for this B take where it doesn't work out that they just get the entries straight away. And so that is a problem for HellRaisers, because will Big just go back to that? It would be quite cool to see them try to exploit that. Throw the test to HellRaisers. If you can't stop it, well, we're going to keep doing it.
Nice. We are moving into the last 2 rounds of the first half, and the score is very close indeed. Going into the second half, what do you think about HellRaisers' score right now?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's hard to say. I think, as you mentioned, you definitely, if you're HellRaisers, you need to get as many as you can here, because their T side is not really super reliable.
I don't think they have the number of gears that Big do on their T side.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that is very true. HellRaisers is certainly looking for maximizing their scoreline here, of course, to give themselves a comfortable chance as opposed to a desperate one. And 3 players from HellRaisers towards B. That is definitely a response to that previous round. They're going to go for a delayed timing because Big have not put any pressure towards that position just yet. And they are starting to creep onto that A bomb site soon enough. So Big are working that control on Pop Dog. Oh, that is so much time for Smooth to hit that shot. And Angel goes for a good response here coming in from HellRaisers, but will it be enough?
That is a great response, but Angel gets picked off. Woxic and Bondic were rotating towards the A bomb site based on the real estate that Angel had, but Angel has nothing now. He has been sent to the Angels. Bondic will have to stay on the B bomb site for the time being. Issa and Woxic waiting on A. Wondering if they can take IV control. Don't know what the status is of the IV position. Nex is in hell now. And Smee has an angle where he can see Woxic crossing. I think he may have fired a shot. That's a warning. Issa on the side, gets one, but instantly traded by Nex. Woxic in a tough spot now. He knows there is a player towards main. Now he knows where Nex is, but is Nex baiting for someone else? He's elevated his position, and Smee comes out, and that might just be the round. Bondic trying to clutch it, gets his bell rung through the structure, and that is 7-7.
And this is a great round to just really show you. Big understand how much HellRaisers were fearing the B play. And because they were fearing B so much, Big just crept into some really strong positions on the outside. And you can see this play between Smee and Nex. They just set one another up so well here. And Nex is completely covered and baiting for Smee, who has full information that Wox is trying to make a play from Ali. It is a beautiful round from Big. Again, just reading the mind of Angel and really punishing them very hard on that A-bomb site. And it's looking terrible now for HellRaisers, James. They don't have much to fight with.
Ooh, the spam from Gobby not quite hitting the mark. Tabson deploying a HE. Is it too late? It's not too late. Issa taking chunks. Molotov is down. This is a fast-moving round. A CZ kill from Angel. Now we've got angles towards main. He spots a knee Issa, but he has to watch his teammate get taken out. Woxic close to main. Dead Fox and Issa on A as well. Bondic once again, reliable pair of hands on B. Just with a FAMAS though, got to be really careful with those peaks, as you can get pre-fired. Gets away with it this time. Smoke is deployed, but there's time for Big to wait.
How is Issa 18 for 6 in this half? Very interesting stuff. Of course it would be a round such as this for HellRaisers to find a chance.
Just that confidence of being able to run and gun with the CZ sometimes makes a difference. Issa will be smoked off with his stolen AWP. Looks over the smoke. Big go for this. Looks like there's no other option. Bondik close with the FAMAS. Issa far with the AWP. Will they have a better performance here? No, Bondik gets taken down straight away. So there is a real chance now from Big as they look to try to plant. They've got 35 seconds. Woxic creeping from the top, but he will be silenced. Issa to strike back. Issa has to have an enormous round at this point, though, to save the day for HellRaisers.
2 more players to find. It is the last round of the first half. No more saving to be done. Issa on the high ground, just waiting, making the right move. Oh, there goes Tizian, and now it's down to Smooya, 1 versus 2. UK Mandem getting teased with an elbow. Spots one of the players, knows another one's close. Dead Fox trying to bait him. He's got the shadow advantage, but he misses the shot. The knife's coming out. He's standing on his head, and Dead Fox will win the knife. It's nigh on impossible to knife someone when you are standing on top of them.
Man.
It's so crazy. If someone's standing on you, you can look straight forward and you will knife them. But if you're above them, it's I've suffered from that. It's so unlucky for him.
That is hilarious, though. Of all the ways for that to end, that's just amazing. Just a knife fight. Just both pull out the knives. Like, no, screw it. All right. I got your knife, bro. Okay, so HellRaisers somehow managed to scrape out an additional round, and they get the 8-7. But it is going to be so difficult. They need the pistol rounds. You know, this has been discussed, and, you know, you mentioned that, you know, HellRaisers, you know, perhaps needed a lot more rounds on their CT side. Historically, they're not consistently going to be taking these T sides as well as their CT side. So unless they found another gear in some of their preparation for this match, they're gonna need some people to step up. Issa's definitely been stepping up. 19 for 6. He's been so good.
Ooh. Tabson, that's so clean. That is so clean. Gobby, it feels like he's in a vulnerable position. He fires a lot of shots with his CZ. He's low. He could be punished for the reload, but Tabson is there to clean up. Smia playing it slow, allowing his teammates to run distraction. Gets 1 frag out of it at least. Loads of jumping. Nice one tap from him, and there's one more. That is disgusting, Mr. Butterfield. Letting them run past, giving the information to his team, quietly tapping while they are distracted from elsewhere. Stuck in a sandwich. And he spreads that butter.
He didn't panic as well. Sometimes when you have this spot where you miss a bunch of shots, you start spamming. But, you know, he just was like, you know what, it happens. Let me just do my thing. And just cleans up. And that is not what HellRaisers wanted, of course. And they don't go for the full buy. And they don't go for the full force on the T side. And that's cool. Again, if you assume that the CT side will play very passively B because they're afraid, then you don't need to buy Kevlars and as many nades. You can just get the bomb down regardless. Same outcome, less money expended.
Issa holding in the flames for a shot with the Deagle. But he wasn't given one. Big now winning both pistol rounds. Gobby having a look-see towards Ivy. Angel having a look of his own. He's had some nice Deagle shots this tournament so far. He'll be joined by Bondik and Dead Fox. Woxic quietly making his way over. So the numbers game being built. Angel looking like he's just lurking towards the B bomb site, but Dead Fox appears to maybe... Okay, so it seems like it's a plan C from HellRaisers. They had 3 towards B, only Angel was peeking. Woxic came towards B, and now they're going back towards A.
The crazy thing as well from like a matchup perspective, like you just really need to get the 3-1s like here because some of the teams, James, you'll be up against, it just gets harder and harder, which is so funny because normally it's the opposite, isn't it? It's a bit easier perhaps. Oh, Gobby's having a great game, I would say.
Gobby does really well with SMGs on train around Pop Dog. We've seen him play this position in many a map and he gets a lot of mileage out of it.
Yeah, and he's, I mean, he's not like right up there on the scoreboard or anything, and he's 11-11, but just if some of the impacts on the frags and the positions he's played has been really cool. You know, we can't forget some of the critical rounds where he gets the 2 entry frags on B and so on the T side, and yeah, he's played a pivotal role here, absolutely, for HellRaisers from rather for Big on an individual level. And full Glock round pretty much coming in from HellRaisers, just Issa with that P250. And this might just be that classic, just, you know, rush B and see if you can get the bomb down.
If Counter-Strike was broadcast on the level of Premiership football, for example, it'd be really cool to see statistics on impact frags, because I think you would need people to sit there and watch everyone's POV and just like click a button. Yep, that was an impact frag. And it'd be nice to have those statistics, but it's not really viable.
I think you can actually measure that by passing the data correctly. I'm pretty confident.
I don't agree.
I think you absolutely can.
I think you need a human to look at the potential situations with regards to impact frags. I don't think for a game as complicated as Counter-Strike you can program that into a computer.
I think you definitely can. I can explain it, but it'll take a long time. We can talk about it, James. We can talk about it.
Let us know what you think.
Let us know.
Tweet us on the internet.
Hashtag FACEIT Major.
You can find us on the internet.
I was going to say most of the time, but pretty much all the time. Everyone's on the internet all the time. It's like when your phone breaks and you're just like, what? I'm like disconnected. It's like being jacked out of the Matrix.
Seeing you with a broken phone is really weird, but
it was
also quite healthy.
Imagine, well, James, if you didn't have a phone.
I can do without a phone.
Or access to internet.
I can do.
All right. Do it for a week then. Like I did. Do it for a week, James. Then let's see who's talking now.
I'm a busy man, Dan. I'm a busy man.
See, there you go. See, so exactly. That's the problem, isn't it? You're busy because of the internet, James. Right. Now we've been through that little moment. We've got the 10-8s for Big, and HellRaisers have themselves the AK-47s. And this is an important round. They don't have an AWP. Big, they managed to muster the AWP straight away on Smooya when they had their first bar on the T side. Not for HellRaisers, though.
tabs.in with a scout. Ooh, what kind of boost have we got here? Oh, was that a boost towards main? Don't normally see that, but there's an alternative angle. So my pick for the second half was tabs.in on the Go TV. Maybe not with a scout, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he's got something to show us as well with the scout. He's over towards the B bomb site. There's a big stack towards B actually, and Smear's been left towards A. And again, HellRaisers on the T side, they aren't afraid of a slow round, but sometimes it can work against them. I think Train is a map where you can, if you don't have an early pick and you're pushing with 25 seconds or something, it can be really hard to achieve something. Now we see Big moving back towards the A site. tabs.in moving towards Ivy. So again, look how slow this is from HellRaisers. No one really... I mean, this is... They have no lurkers towards Ivy. No lurkers towards B. It's going to be 5 people into the A site. Now, are Big well positioned for this? Smooya falling off the top of the connector position, but he takes the E-box area away with the Molotov.
Yeah, Smooya will keep position. Whiffs the shot, gives his position up. They know an AWP is there. Do they have anything to deal with it though? The white peak comes in from Issa. That's brave, but he's so confident you can see why. Wins the battle. Bomb down now. tabs.in though, he has picked up the AWP and he's always a danger as he tries to set up a teammate. And indeed, Tizian will capitalize off the back of that flashbang. And now things start to get troublesome. Issa though, 3 kills, delivering again. Angel taken down from the back. Bondit coming into play. Now down to Issa to finish it off. Spray, oh, it's going to do the job. Quad kill from Issa. 23 kills and 9. This guy cannot be stopped. He is the most important player on HellRaisers right now.
It's a massive play from Issa. I do like the detail where tabs.in throws the flash. Obviously, he concedes his position, which is a bait for his teammates to look from connector to the back of the train. But Issa just delivers frag after frag after frag. Got to be really ill-equipped with the MP9 to take that duel. And that execute works out for HellRaisers. But I wonder if Big had stronger positions towards Ivy. Smooya missed a few shots there as well. So I think that could have gone 2 different ways. And there's plenty of Counter-Strike to come. Issa taken down early. No 4K for him this round.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem for sure. Oh, no, that's the bomb down. I don't know if Smooya saw it falling forwards. Oh, okay, it was collected just as they saw it. Okay, this is a huge issue. This is a huge issue for HellRaisers. I don't know if they have much... Do they have much in the bank? Let's see, let's pull that up. Yes, they have nothing in the bank. And they are very likely losing this round, James. This is quite the predicament. What do you do here? I think you really need a bomb plant if you can possibly find one. I don't think you want to... really save. But there's also no good option, is there? There's just no good option for them.
Yeah, I mean, with 5, they don't often try and get a pick going before they execute into a site. With 3, that compounds the problem and almost forces their hand.
You don't want to like save 3 players and then have the money be really imbalanced on, and that's like a fight in of itself. Just balance the money out later on.
I thought Gobby would make that play earlier on because I feel like the Ivy action would deter the T's from even hanging around there. But here comes the flank, 30 seconds on the clock, and again, HellRaisers slowly moving in. Smooya running distraction now, 20 seconds, and Angel's made his way out, but the other 2 are still just emerging right now. Oh no! Smooya, well, he's got a kill at least. Now he's got 2. Can he stop the bomb from going down? Of course he can. Really hard to spot the bomb in that situation, and Smooya will make up for it by pretty much taking out everybody else.
I mean, it's kind of an ace. 5 kills with, I don't know if, does it count the team kill? I don't think it does. I guess we're about to find out. So that's 1. Okay, it doesn't count. So yeah, he gets 5 kills in this round, just one of which on his teammates. But very flashy. And again, you can see one of these qualities here from Smooya, and he just does his thing. Even though that obviously can be considered to be a huge mistake, and it's shocking when you realize, oh god, I killed a teammate and that feels bad. That can actually put some players off and hurt their performance. But he just continues. He just continues doing his thing, and that's a really important quality there. So it's good to see Smooya really focused and dialed in.
Now we have 3 AWPs on the big side, on the big clan. Smooya, Gobby, and tabseN. Gobby having a look from the top. He sees more than one player as well on the radar. So Big are prepared, but of course, doesn't look like there's a fast push coming. And they are mostly on Glocks. Well, 2 Glocks, 2 Deagles at this point for HellRaisers. I do really wonder about the late executes, though, as we go on. I mean, we mentioned that before the game even started. Definitely big question marks there for HellRaisers. I do wonder how that round they won would have gone with some different CT positions for Big. Ooh, someone just got shot in the arse. That leaves Issa alone with a Desert Eagle. Such a big performance from him so far. But HellRaisers heading towards a 3-round deficit. He is tied for kills with Smooya, it must be said. 23 apiece, would be 24 for Smooya if he hadn't taken down his teammate.
Yeah, it's. I think it feels like across this game, I think it was set up well by the analysts overall. It was always going to require, in some sense, an overperformance from HellRaisers, likely to win this game. Definitely a difficult one to predict, but we have been seeing some of these great performances from HellRaisers in this major so far. But it is an uphill struggle, and we can see that Big, as you say, James, as you put it previously, they have a lot of gears, more so than HellRaisers when it comes to train. And Issa's been delivering, but Woxic's been having a pretty horrible time here. He's only on 6 and 12, and I think typically, I've seen him have good performances on CT sides, but sometimes for me, when I've watched their trains, I've seen him struggle to get into good positions to do his thing on that T side. And Big have been, shutting down a lot here from HellRaisers, and we haven't seen much in the way of any success early round from HellRaisers when it comes to using an AWP to try to get a pick. We saw that one round where Issa tried to pressure into Ali with Woxic, and they both just got wrecked by Smooya, and the round was over. So this is not there's nothing. I'm trying to think, have we seen signs of success in any sense? And I don't think we have on this T side.
Triple sniperoo for Big, and they have some pistols coming at them once again. Slightly more dangerous round. Is there a flash for next? Oh, hello. Speed dating towards main. Dead Fox and Bondik remain. Bondik emerging from the IV position, trying to bait the shot. Smooya has to fall back, pull a pistol out maybe. He's got no support. Pistol delivers the kill. Simple enough round for Big. And now they're in a very strong position. 3 rounds away from victory, 4 rounds ahead of HellRaisers, who come back in for the bye. But really, it is all eyes on HellRaisers. What can they do on their T half here?
Yeah, this is a big one, isn't it? We're going to see the AWP here from Dead Fox, perhaps. He had the most money. And Woxic could buy the AK, they could swap it, or will they get no AWP? It really depends how they feel about these opening. Yeah, so they decide to not go for the AWP, and they must know still that. Well, the thing is that you can't know, because Gopi could have switched out for an M4 now. You don't know if there's 3 or 2 or 1 AWP necessarily. Likely 2. There comes the Molotov to deny where Gopi was picking from previously with the AWP, but see Tizian shoulder peeking to get the information lower. Oh, keeping good track. That's a perfect trade, though. You really need that if you're HellRaisers.
It looks like they want to play off of this once those picks came in, or maybe Angel was just moving quickly in case more trades were needed. Got B now rotating towards the B bomb site. He heard those footsteps that I'm talking about. And now Got B will move into position with the AWP. Oh, he's taking an alternate angle. He must deliver, though. So you might wonder why he's fully exposed his body when he could just stand on the spools. The spools is a more expected angle. So he's playing an off angle to take them by surprise, and that might be enough. But he continues to push the issue. Oh, he sees a hand, and now there's no more hand. Prosthesis for Angel.
Yeah, Got B, absolutely perfect play. You can't ask for anything better than that. He saw it coming, easy stuff for him, and he's going to finish off more players here. Got B with an incredible performance this round. 2 incredibly crucial kills, blows up the push. And HellRaisers, their back is truly against the wall here. They needed a bomb plant, James. They needed that bomb plant so badly. They could have bought this round, but now I don't think they really can.
Yeah, they may be facing 6 rounds in a row. They haven't bought much just yet, and look at the money. It is a pretty bad situation for HellRaisers. So far, they had that 1 round of success, and I do think there's an asterisk there, in my opinion. We'll see if the desks think otherwise. Not saying they would have lost it if the CTs were in different positions, but I think that there would have been more variance if you ran it 20 times, let's say. Anyway, leg spotted. Molotov deployed. Tizian now with the shoulder peeking, the jiggle peeking, if you will.
Got B. What a performance so far. Tizian absolutely blind. Got a teammate to support though. Tabson in there. And not much help is needed as well for Tizian. He will do some damage as well. Angel finds himself in a very strange position, but he will go down. And match point for Big, looking to go 3-1 and to shut down any possibilities of having their run interrupted by some of the big dogs.
This is LAN point. Yes, this is a LAN, but really, the real LAN starts next week with the crazy international crowd, not even UK. Smuya 1 round away from joining Def, representing the UK. I know he's going to have some family coming down if he makes it to land, which is really cool. 6 rounds in a row HellRaisers require. Woxic has 6,600 in the bank, but is it too little too late for HellRaisers? No more mistakes. Every T round has to be perfect.
How many kills have they even got in the last few rounds? It feels like HellRaisers have been struggling to do much of anything. And back to the AWP on Woxic, play a slower round perhaps. They don't have to. If you have an AWP, you can still go for a set piece, get the AWP into the open with those grenades. And, well, it's going to be a fast one, it seems, here from HellRaisers. Straight in there, looking to go for these picks, but the counter utility from Big will slow them down. And Woxic down to half health already without having much opportunity to do much. And, oh my goodness, Smuya's just looking for it. They know what's up.
There goes another one. 3 players left. Below got B. Issa taken out. Angel trying to do what he can. Smuya's got to be careful. Is he going to make a play through the smoke? Easily seen by Angel. Was that risk worth taking? Next in Tizian now around the site, 2 on 2. Is there still life in the old dog yet? These HellRaisers players. A tag, no frag. And now it's down to Angel, the in-game leader. That's a massive headshot from him. Looking for the ace, Angel. Tizian, he has no idea where Tizian is. Tizian has much of the information, not all of it. And again, it comes down to a game of angles, but Tizian will see Angel's legs if Angel keeps going towards main. Unless he looks the wrong way. There it is, 16-9. And Smuya and co will make it to the SSC Arena next week.
Yeah, great performance from Big. They've been a team that's been quite scary this entire tournament, and I think they absolutely deserve to make it into that top 8. HellRaisers, you're not out of it yet, but there's definitely some work to be done on that T side of Train. Holding their map pool, James, perhaps.
Smooya, 27 for 11. I think he is the top-rated player in the tournament so far, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely those statistics will contribute in the right direction for him. Leading by example for the UK crowd, that's going to be really cool indeed. Congratulations to Big. They can take a rest now and prepare for the opponents to come.
Absolutely. It's going to be really interesting to see what they can bring out and how the occasion can elevate the players. That's one of the best things about a tournament of the scale of the Major, is that some players, they get stronger as the tournament goes on, and I'm looking to see, exactly how that looks like with Big.
And what to make of it for HellRaisers. We didn't really see a hell of a lot on their T side. We thought it was going to be a problem. It did prove to be a problem despite Issa's best effort. Excuse me, asthma. 23 for 15 for Issa. Wasn't enough, unfortunately. But again, the T side just wasn't there for them. Big were all over it, really.
Yeah.
They had one round in that second half that they won. Just one.
Yeah, just couldn't find anything.
Yeah. Parla is with Big Clan in the gaming room.
I am James with some big boys. Gob, congratulations, sir. Our third team here at the Major, getting through to the playoffs. Are you excited? Are you happy?
Yeah, of course, I'm really happy. At the moment, I cannot show my emotions because I will try to be so calm in the game. And yeah, I still cannot believe it, but I'm so happy that we made it. It was a lot of hours of reviewing games and even maps we haven't played, so it was hard work, and I'm happy that we made it in this week.
A very good showing against HR, but if we go back to yesterday, against Complexity, was that a disappointment for you and your team?
Yeah, it's a 2-week tournament so far for us, and there will be off days for sure. And they were really well prepared, nothing to take away from them. They were coming into this game better prepared than us, I think. And yeah, we had a really bad start. We couldn't come back as a team. I think we just, for myself, I take the lose against Complexity not as a hard loss. I just take it professionally because they deserve it as well, and yeah, they played better.
What's it like, by the way, to see Kakafu come down, your coach, your management, and be so excited about everything?
Yeah, I'm obviously really happy, but at the moment my emotions are like, you know, I kept them in the treasure to perform good, and that helped us also in Cologne, and probably will help us going further in this tournament.
Last question about yesterday against Complexity. Shawnee G on the desk, Sean Gares, wanted to know if you guys were surprised by Nuke being picked. Did you think Complexity would prefer to have left Train in the veto?
Yeah, we were more prepared for Train. Sean was right, but we are always going into the vetoes with like, okay, what is the likely map? We prepare obviously more for the likely map, and also the unlikely maps we prepare. We were prepared kind of for that, but the problem is they had a bootcamp and they had new stuff on Nuke, and they catched off guard a little bit with this. We could have adapted a bit faster, but as I said, it was off day yesterday, and that was more the reason than the surprising pick, I think, from Complexity.
And now going up against HR today, they're led to a leader who is in some ways similar to you, Angel, who's been around the scene for so long, but then they've got young guns like Woxic and Issa. How do you prepare overall for these different dynamics?
Yeah, we watched a lot of demos, and we prepared like always. Like after we knew, I had like 5 hours, even though we had the first game. I just watched everything. I tried to find a good way, and yeah, then if my teammates listen and don't make mistakes and make the stuff we were talking about, we are really strong. And even today we made a lot of mistakes. We need to watch it, but today is a celebration day. Even I'm like cold in emotions at the moment, but yeah, I think I just need to realize what's happening, and then yeah, I don't know the question anymore, sorry.
No, it's all good. You'll have time to do that now. Congratulations, God B. Smooya, final words with you. You've given us 2 UK players in the top 8. Firstly, going back to yesterday, what was it like being in the server against the other guy, Death?
I don't know. Like, Death's a great player. He doesn't really have the same role as I do. Like, I feel like he's more of a support player within his team, and I am as well. But like, I feel like I have way more impact. So like, it was quite annoying to lose that game because we beat ourselves. I think like they outplayed us so hard by picking Nuke. Like, we were talking about Inferno the entire day. We're like, yeah, let's beat them on Inferno. We're like, Nuke? Like, oh god, what's happening here? Then they just rushed every round, and I don't know. I'm just happy I can make it. And yeah, top 8.
And exactly for you on a personal level, first major, getting into the top 8 from your background, you've been grinding for a while. This was your first big team to prove yourself on, and it looks like you're doing it, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, I always get called an onliner. I've come here, I've beat the best teams. As we did in Cologne, but everyone thought it was a fluke, so we tried harder, we did more practice, and we've just proved to everyone it wasn't a fluke.
There we go. Would you like to say anything to your fans, big fans, and CS fans at home?
I don't know. I'm close to crying because I just can't believe we did it. Thank you guys for watching, I guess. Thank you.
There we go, Owen. No other words needed. Go and get some rest. Join your captain. You guys should be very, very proud. Alex, Big have done it. They have made it to the top 8.
Complexity, Liquid, and Big Clan. 3 of the top 8 already locked in here for the FACEIT Major, and they certainly aren't the most likely of suspects, but they've done it, and they've done it with style. Spectacular work from Big Clan. They weathered the storm of Complexity, of course, locking themselves in just yesterday, and now we have ourselves 5 spots remain to meet the SSE, and the pressure starting to mount for everyone, including HellRaisers after that game. They could not find that second half whatsoever, despite some heroics from Issa and Angel. I'm joined by Sponge and Sean Gares. Chad, that was a fun game to watch, at least for the first half.
Yeah, Big tactically outclassed HellRaisers in that first half, something cruel. The opening stages, the first 5 or 6 rounds were relatively close and back and forth, and that's where HellRaisers could have really established some dominance. But there were some unlucky timings on splits and picks, especially that round on Angel where they did the inside split and he was watching for that high round player for so long, and as soon as he turned away, he got punished. So those moments, you can't really account for. But the way that Big just approached this and the game plan that they had was so far superior to that of HellRaisers, it was just nuts.
Yeah, I do feel a bit of national pride watching this Smooya highlight reel as well. Good to see for the first time in forever, actually, truly, a UK player is in the top 8 of a major. I mean, first of all, it was the first UK players at a major. Then they get to the legend stage. Now they're in the top 8. Big Clan, what stops these people?
Well, I don't know what it is right now. It's only themselves, apparently, and kind of small tactical errors, because they looked phenomenal in this game. They completely outclassed HellRaisers on almost every gun round tactically. Smooya Gabi, massive individual games. And like Chad said, unfortunately, Woxic didn't really show up in this one, as well as, that round where Angel was looking at the upper ramp and turned. Woxic mixing that one on Gabi's back.
Yes.
There's those 2 pivotal gun rounds that really swung the first half, in my opinion, in favor of Big. But they clearly deserve to win this one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, the only rounds in that first half that they really had any stake in HellRaisers was when Issa was able to get multi-kills, right?
Yep.
There was a couple of interesting picks with Voxic close up with the AWP, but those rounds, they were miracle rounds. They weren't ones that they should have won. And sitting down here listening to the comms again, in those rounds, the big guys thought they would have been on eco or on low buys and wouldn't have had all that weaponry. So surprised in a few occasions, but in this game, it was just destroyed, really. If you look at it, it wasn't close at all.
It wasn't close at all, despite the first half, but I guess this is Train we're talking about. The head-to-head is probably one of the most polarizing we've had so far here in London. It was Smooya versus Woxic that we selected, and that ADR sticks out like a sore thumb. That isn't a kill count, that is average damage per round from Woxic this series. 29 from him, not a single headshot to be seen either.
Yeah, and that's him starting on the CT side of Train. That's him having AWPs on 4 spies that they win. So he had the AWP a lot of that first half, and he just couldn't get the shots. And honestly, that has a lot to do with Big's utility usage and the way they peak angles. It's very hard for an opera like Woxic, who plays aggressively and plays common angles, to get his shots.
It also is he's an outside yard player, right? And they were retaking inside a lot of the time. And when you're coming in transition through connector and Smooya's already set up with that AWP waiting for you, such a hard duel to take, not one that is easy to find that kill. And those are the rounds that have to be, I guess, out of the box rounds to get back into. That inside defense from HellRaisers was abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, it only really worked when you had someone multi-fragging, like the likes of Angel.
You got that 4K, yeah.
He saved them one round, but other than that, it just seemed like Big came too prepared and looked too damn good. Now, I wonder if we have those demos ready. I just want to make sure we have confirmation, because you both selected something to play. We'll start with you, Sean. This was an execute that caught your eye, and I didn't get to catch it live, so break it down.
Yeah, so this is an execute that Big ran on the first gun round. They actually run a very similar execute 3 other times throughout the half. It was very successful for them. Like Chad said, that one of the only times that it was stopped was versus Angel. But the first time they show why it's so important to hold for presence across the map, right? So they have teammate control, he's holding for IV control, and then they also have ladder control. And what this does is it forces a minimum of 3 players to be outside, right? They don't have any information, so they have to watch all 3 entrances to the outside bomb site. You know 2 people are then at the inner bomb site at the absolute max, and you filter out all of the other rotations into it with these 2 smokes, the 2 mollies, eliminate a lot of spots, and they have excellent flashbangs. Flashbang blinds Bondic, who's holding by the spools, and a flash will also blind the guy by the bomb train. You see they're both blind at the same time, and there was no way HellRaisers was winning this round given their spots. And this is why strong executes like that are so powerful, because common spots have no chance. And that's why the one time that HellRaisers stopped it, Angel was in the middle of the open in the upper ramp.
Yeah, and this filtered into the rest of the game. This filtered into conditioning the players from HellRaisers to have to cheat over towards that inner bomb site in the late piece because they were taken down so many times. And this is where you can look at the second demo we have and to show exactly that. Now you're going to see 3 players holding inside because this is late in the piece. They've been destroyed inside so many times they have to take a gamble. But yet they're not really playing for information. They're still just posturing. This puts a lot of pressure on the outside defense. Only 2 members, and Dead Fox is one of those 2. He has to worry about 2 to 3 positions in his position right here. He's looking towards Team Mid. He can also die to anybody coming out Pop Dog, and Ivy is completely open. So his head has to be on a swivel here. Cool. This opens him up to the potential of, turning away and then getting picked off. He's turned away. Smooya's come out teammate, open that kill, and now there's 1 member left on the outer bomb site, which is the harder of the 2 to defend. They're just going to enclose on him, and this is the conditioning of those earlier T rounds from hitting that inner bomb site, and now they were forced to play 3 members inside. They didn't even come inside, and they didn't even have information, right? If you're going to play that kind of style, you should either be a little bit more aggressive so you can take the fight to big, or you should at least just post that AWP up, and then that way you can cheat 4 members back towards that outer site. Big just played this fantastically, took advantage of the rotations, and schooled HellRaisers.
And actually, what's funny about that setup that HellRaisers ran right there is it's the exact setup Tyloo ran against Big when X-Hero got that op clip a couple days ago. So they clearly did their homework and watched Big demos on Train. They expected to play Train. They did a setup that worked against Big. But this is what happens when you go outside against that setup.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, Chad, he likes his CTs like he likes his hair conditioned. And I do want to talk about what's coming up today, because that's just the first game. We do have your Swiss with a twist. It's the Buckhold system, which does provide some seeding additionally, and take a look at these matchups. We've got so much more to come. We're going to be jumping over to the 1 win, 2 losses column next, which is Vega versus NIP.
Yeah, look, I just think of the next one, the Vega versus NIP game could be a big one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It is a storied matchup for the Ninjas as their major dreams have been crushed by the Shark, not once but twice. We'll talk more about it after the break.